Salutations everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play Overlord 2. I'm your host, BrainBoy20. Where we'd last left off, we had messed around with the Empire a little bit more, acquiring our blues, capturing the rest of Nordberg, and also beginning our exploration of the wasteland, getting us a lot of fantastical magical artifacts. Now, as a small preface, this episode in particular is going to be in post-commentary because I lost nearly 3 minutes worth of footage, specifically towards the end of it, and a lot of it was me complaining about the fact that my audio was being eaten, and as such I didn't consider that alright, so well, we lose heat of the moment, but instead get to watch as I really want to make a fantastic new item, the Apocolator. As I decided, well, you know what, why not? Let's get ourselves our equipment in their best possible form by grinding out the rest of the life crystals out of the sanctuary, which of course involves genociding more fairies, because why don't we? When do we not continually genocide species for our own gain? And yet we're somehow considered the controlling overlord. Excellent. Aside from that, there might be a lot more tangents and otherwise, because I don't have to pay any attention to it, or any attention to what I'm actually doing. But as it is shown here, the Apocolator is a fantastic mace, with its own little fiery burst at the end. And my first thing to use it on is Zarok, because congratulations Zarok for being a Patreon for this long. I hereby bequeath you this other minor that just so happened to appear, and you also get to get the face first of my new mace and be its own little test, as well as getting a nice little boot to the head. If you guys wish to pop onto Patreon as well in order to donate to me, well, this is what you can generally expect. You getting beaten up on videos while I chant your name. And we also decided it's a fantastic idea to upgrade our Browns a little bit more, considering they're our most used frontline fighters. Glorious and excellent. And my memories of this episode are slowly returning to me, so bleh.
Your Browns now stronger, master.
Anyway, that's all the obligatory stuff that actually had to be done, so let us get a move on back to the wasteland to continue our exploration. I need to be so careful about not spoilering the episode to heck and back, but I want to talk about things that I know that are coming up that I know I can't speak about. Excellent. Anyway, aside from that, we're heading back to the wasteland proper, and I could definitely say what does come up is something interesting, but I don't want to keep alluding. This is why I like having heat of the moment commentary. I like the heat of the moment commentary because it actually stops me from talking so I could pace myself and not get to be excited about things that will happen. But our primary objective for this is to also gather the rest of the Tower Heart shards so we can make ourselves as powerful as the old Overlord. And wow, I didn't even recognize that that artwork was of the old tower. It'd be really nice if you could visit it at some point, yet I also understand that there's a lot of tower ruins around here. Plus, how tall was that tower? Ah, yes, I remember this section. Yeah. It would be really helpful if I actually could pay attention to what I was doing, because I'm going in the completely wrong direction right now. And I kick myself because then I realize, wait, why didn't I just check to see if I could go to a further on teleport, considering the waypoint we found. But the waypoint system in this game also doesn't make a lot of sense because it doesn't name the waypoints properly, so trying to find a proper waypoint is a nightmare. And so I decided to take my fury out on some hapless mushrooms that aren't even sentient. But killing mushrooms is always fun, I guess. Bleh. But yes, with the advent of blues, we were able to clear up the magical sludge, which we also get to play with sludge mechanics. And now I'm going to actually try to be smart to see if I can find the waypoint. I'm not able to find it, because it only gives me Wasteland Main, and it does not seem like there's anything else, even in hindsight. Yeah, no, they just don't have access to that one waypoint, which would be so helpful if they did, but unfortunately not. Then again, I guess that means they would have to let me back into the arena, and I'm fairly certain the Empire would not let me back into the arena under any circumstances. Now, one of the other nice things about all this blue goop is that it all seems to contain treasures underneath, which I can't really say no to treasure. Treasure is, of course, the lifeblood of my empire, and the lifeblood of me upgrading my minions for the umpteenth time. And yes, I decided to be clever and check down a place that I've already explored to see if I could find some more equipment, and I don't quite realize that only reds can pass through there. Whoop-de-doo. You can go back now, you bloody moron. Anyway, other hilarious things that have been happening in the world of me is that I'm so glad that the Halloween stuff has begun, because then I can actually start beginning Halloween events and otherwise. Admittedly, it's not Halloween yet, and it's not going to be so for like 20 plus days, but when have I cared about the timing when I'm looking for a job? Bleh. Bleh and blee. So we're gonna head back through this little commune. I would like to murderize absolutely everyone or everything. No, they are not mutants, sir. They are my minions. You are the mutants, as you're all supposed to be slaves to me, like these creatures below. Although your women can get a little bypass, depending on, how gorgeous they look. Anyway. I feel myself slowly slipping into my Solid Snake impression as we continue to get back to the point where we originally were at. I decide now is a fantastic idea to go and hunt down through a lot of these areas. Especially because the passage forward decides to leave without me. I decide it's a fantastic idea to basically loot and pillage everything to get some decent equipment. In addition to the fact that I know that there are zombies up ahead somewhere, considering what we encountered at the end of last episode. As such, just looting and pillaging everything that isn't nailed down, which has already been in my MO, and I just haven't enacted upon it that often. So I need to follow through with my looting and pillaging tendencies. And the rotating passage should be returning soon. And in fact, my timing is near perfect. Glorious. Now, of course, we're gonna have a little minion left behind, or not, but we do invoke the No Minion Left Behind law, which states that we have to make sure that children do pass through schooling beyond any oh wait, wrong law. But we do not want to leave minions behind, because leaving them behind tends to go towards the much more annoying side of things, where my minions despawn themselves and I have to respawn them. One brown, one red, if I remember correctly. Yes. Now, I do actually make note of the fact that there are greens required further on ahead, because you could see that clearly from the rotating platform if you want to go back like a few seconds. But there's no real need to care, ultimately, about those greens, as far as I'm concerned, because I can just always go back and get more minions. So, And there's the way forward, but I can't go through there just yet because it blocks it off. So let's figure out how to continue onward. Now, the nice thing about the Apocolator is that its base power is high enough where I can actually just three-shot those barricades willingly. Or willingly. No, I could just three-shot those barricades, which is always nice. And a lot of the people say that the destruction path basically leads to not ever having enough minions. But that's not true, considering there seems to be a lot of places where I can theoretically generate infinite minions if the grind would be a bit extreme. Now, you can see a few people off in the distance here, so I'm gonna be quiet now. Goddamn elf.
Where did it go?
Must have a base around here.
Do you think it's the one we're meant to be looking for?
Yeah, 'cause I'd hate to think we'd stumble upon the wrong secret base.
Alright, buddy elf. The only thing I don't like you more is the Empire. And the Apocolator definitely brings the apocalypse. One strike for one kill.
No time for pleasantries. Not that I have anything pleasant to say to you. A large force of Empire troops is heading this way. I come on behalf of Queen Faye to offer you, against my better judgment, a truce. If you agree, follow me to the last sanctuary.
At least I get to figure out where your home base is, so I can absolutely and utterly murder you later once I'm done with the Empire. Ugh. Elves, they think of themselves as people.
I take no joy that our paths have crossed again, but it appears we share a common enemy. One who is as relentless as they are powerful. I speak of Solarius's empire. His forces are too great for either of us to fight alone.
Oh, let me guess. Now she wants to be friends.
But together, we may stand a chance.
There! No one ever suggests being friends when they're dripping with gold and jewels.
I know what you seek in these lands. If you agree to join forces, I will send my Lieutenant Florian to aid you.
Help finding the Tower Heart shards would be useful, sire. I guess we can always kill him afterwards.
I would very much not want to have to deal with Florin. But, they revealed where they last hide. And the lovely thing about where they last hide is that I was going to discover it either way. It's in the bloody wasteland. I mean, hey, I'm only getting more artifacts that make me stronger, so going here isn't all bad either way.
Then scourge of nature, let's go.
No, we're supposed to be allies. Let's be jovial about the whole thing at least. Come on. Let's at least pretend to like each other for now. But, yes, the Tower Heart shards would be very much appreciated. I also realized the reds are...
The remaining shards are behind this gate. I will open it for you.
Well, at least he, like me, is not disguising that we don't like this alliance in the slightest. I also... Oh, God, yes, I remember this thing. Alright, well, Blues, come forward.
Not bad, scourge of nature. Let us continue.
You see, the slugs have a very annoying habit of just dropping this magical, painful ooze everywhere. Mercifully, I can get away with this for the most part, but it's something I really don't want to have to deal with under most occasions. Also, those seem like baby slimes, so perhaps life can grow in a place of pure magical power. Who am I kidding? These things are still disgusting. They were disgusting in Overlord 1, and they're disgusting in Overlord 2. Oh great, the blue's getting stuck. At least the mechanics here aren't so poorly explained where I can at least create a small tunnel through here. As my own minions apparently like to kill themselves by standing inside of the toxic ooze. And now, we're grabbing Tower Heart shards from this place. Probably a good idea to leave behind the magic immune people, so we'll leave the browns and reds right there. And then we question why there's only 34.
Brown! Blues!
Red, where are you hiding? Red! He's a moron. But let's go exploring, shall we? Loot. Time to loot, pillage, grab whatever's available, and explore. Most notably, I'm actually just scouting for whatever is currently available, i.e. Tower Heart shard-wise. At least this is my logic and reasoning. If I just scout for everything I need first, then I won't exactly have to care about what comes on ahead.
Here's one.
There's a good elf doggy.
Now, can I cheese this? That was my train of thought right now. Could I cheese this by getting around it? Because I was able to get around the first toxic, and no. No, unfortunately the game's actually a little bit too intelligent for that. But at least there's some nice rewards in this place. Most notably an evil gem. Which means I can upgrade my minions even further, because Lord knows I don't have any need of any more equipment. In hindsight, this actually means the Scorcher is technically a horrible, horrible piece of equipment that I should never bother with, but if I were on that only matters if I were on a solo playthrough. In this, the Scorcher did its job well enough. The Apocolator is just better. Now, I am exploring every nook and cranny because they've already proven to me that, yes, they're willing to hide an evil gem here, so I might as well explore the rest of the place to see if I can find it. Now, the real question is, can I walk through the fire and flames? Answer is no. It's going to be exactly like the greens, so we head on back. Now, this does mean that there's going to be an awful lot of backtracking, so I'm going to avoid it for now. Oh, my throat's trying to kill me. Excuse me for a moment. Nice to see that that doesn't change, at least. And what's this little place over here? It's another Tower Heart shard, and a spell catalyst, and goblinoids. Wait, those are minions. Have they come to join me?
There's
No,
a
of
good
course
old
not.
doggy.
On the bright side, we can at least nearly one-shot the lot of
Here's
them
one.
per hit. And Florin will now no longer shut up, while I am going to brutalize the minions that stand before me, that also drop their respective life force, theoretically. Still, it'd be nice to be able to control the magically mutated minions, because that would mean I would have a lot stronger minions to run around, but I don't think they would agree wholeheartedly. However, in hindsight, these minions do seem to have some form of community-based ability, considering the fact that they didn't attack each other when they went magical mutant. So, who knows? Maybe we'll be able to get them under my command at some point in the near future, perhaps when I need to nuke Empire City and take ourselves to our full power. Anyway, we might as well follow the treasure, considering I don't know what's going to try and stop us. And we're just a little bit too slow, so it starts regenerating. And Florin's going to be prancing about. Now, where's it going? It is going straight to a waygate that I had no clue existed.
You've got a spell catalyst. It is amazing the things you can find just lying about.
Now, hang on. We actually basically found our forward base of operations, finally. So I can actually take my minions, put them away, and I'm going to take exactly 1 green, 1 red before I continue properly. As 1 green and 1 red should be all that I need to be able to continue with this. And my minions are deciding to be morons, so I'm going to guard marker the blues so they can't be corrupted. Technically, this actually means that I have the best nuclear disaster clearing minions, or thing in the game, because I could just take a bunch of blues, sit them on top of the magical sludge, and just let it destroy itself, in theory. I know 1 green needs to go back. I still have 1 red just floating about somewhere.
Blues.
I think at this point I've actually forgotten that that red was what was needed. And because the blues hit the blue stuff just before it procs damage on me, in most cases, I just decided to drop trying to do the fancy maneuvers entirely. Until I get down here, where I realize that it still deals damage, it's just dealing such a negligible amount that I don't care. Thankfully, I can just tankfully walk my way through this, which is nice.
Blues. Red. Greens.
And we'll at least grab this Tower Heart Shard. Then we can go put this away, get a red, and continue on with our lives. At least that's the hope. Ah yes, there was a Tower Heart Shard that I completely forgotten as well. I mean, if you look at the minimap, you can kind of see where Florin is, and then I question exactly how am I standing in goop without getting hurt, and how is my green not mutating? Can't be cleared up. You can't do anything with it whatsoever. Because it's some form of slime nest and inert goop. I don't even want to consider it. Alright, Florin, at least there's a small safe zone right here. With some friendly blues coming towards us. When did that happen? Okay, I need reds. I'm going to need reds to continue.
Reds.
I don't have any with me.
Here, look, beast.
Why do the hard work
Green
yourself
blues.
when you can get elves to do it for you?
Noticing the fact that my health is severely dropped, well, it's time to go and grab it. And that the red finally disappeared. Hallelujah. Still, I could have done with actually observing what minion types I had with me, but, well, I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed by a long shot. So, mistakes can be afforded. And Florin will now just hump the last Tower Heart Shard that we can go towards, which basically, while this is going on, we can go grab our last red, head back over here, and it's going to require a little bit of micro. Because I need at least 2 blues to be able to successfully deal with this problem. Or technically exactly 1, but
Greens.
Alright. Yeah, so I'm going to do exactly as I'd planned and just guard marker them within the pools of goop, so it clears it up so the red can just go and grab it with no problem. Isn't it nice being the Overlord, not actually having to really do much except think a little bit, and then occasionally beat people up with your mace? Ain't that nice? But we get to clear the way forward once again, get back to the spawn point, because I believe I'd seen one final spot for the Tower Heart Shard off to the left of my portal that I just never looked at. And now the zombies appear, so we immediately go to a safe zone so we can continue fighting. Unfortunately, the Apocolator does not do as much killing as I hoped it would on the zombie menace, but at least it ain't impossible to deal with. And our blues resurrect, so we have no kill count whatsoever. Excellent. I was honestly waiting for that to happen, because I didn't remember when it happened exactly.
Blues!
Oh yeah, that's right, I'm leaving the green and red there because I wanted to go kill off the rest of the zombies without having to worry about anything. Also, the derpy run's great. Not as great as me backhanding one with, or back-swinging one backwards with my mace, but still fun nonetheless. And then, of course, the camera continues to murder me, and I still don't know why it did that, because I don't have any minions over there, but I guess. I question why Florin is immune to the magical corruption, but then just attribute it to freaking elves yet again. And let us continue our exploration. Seeing as there's a pathway forward, I wisely decide to go and get myself equipped with some minions at some point. Specifically by letting Florin open up the gate first, then going to get the minions. Which I don't know how he's opening it up. Might as well once again attribute it to magical elf fagginess. Yet again.
Queens!
Considering the nature of our foe, it's probably a good idea that I take the standard complement of troops with me. Not like they could actually steer me wrong.
Having an absolute ton of frontline fighters is definitely worthwhile.
Blues!
And it's also nice because you don't actually have the annoying clicking in the background, because the clicking always bothered me, but
I don't really have a way to reduce it considering where my microphone's positioned. Slash, it would involve me somehow silencing my mouse, and I could honestly probably try and get a mouse that's just a little bit more quiet, but eh. Or maybe put like a little bit of fluff down there to absorb the impact of the clicks. Now, I'm assuming that in the way forward there's something hidden in this little pool, but it turns out I'm completely incorrect, and that we just have to continue going forward from there. Now, I do recognize that that is an obstacle I should be able to destroy, and suddenly decide that, wait, there must be explosives around here somewhere. So I send my blues into an area that I've already cleared. Past me is very intelligent in wondrous ways, because he has the idea right in that we can destroy it, he just didn't know the timing of it. And I can see the last Tower Heart Shard and immediately conclude that there's going to be an ambush up here, because it's just too easy.
The last piece. Secure it and we can return to the sanctuary.
Now I'm going to dump all my minions here because Slugmaw over here is possibly the most annoying fight that I've had the pleasure of dealing with, because she sprays the goop everywhere. And I basically decide, let's just go with the idea of what we did before when it comes to killing pandas. Now, I could reasonably kill Slugmaw with no real issue, but I decide that if I grab the blues and reds and set up a location where the sludge cannot feasibly reach, well, I just get a constant source of DPS at 0 cost. Of course, I do have to micro the reds because the reds themselves are stupid and will put themselves in the dumbest possible positions, but at least I can deal with it. Over here, Slugmaw. Come on. Nice, healthy piece of meat for your children. Yeah. And now the constant source of DPS begins. And I basically decide to tank it in order for my blues to not get killed. I wonder what that blue could possibly consider himself doing over there. But I guess blues aren't well noted for their intelligence. And now we just have to send our blues through the puddle, which I'm thankful to have realized really quickly.
Not bad, scourge of nature. Let us continue.
We grab the last Tower Heart Shard, and guess what?
They found us! They found us! We're
Rex.
doomed! Doomed!
I could easily fight the lot of these off if I had backed up, but here I am trying to do the bloody aura spell, and I've basically completely forgotten how to do it until just now. And I unfortunately do not have an army together that could take them all on reasonably, so I decided to cut my losses and GTFO.
It's that elf outlaw!
Mercy! Mercy! Please have mercy!
We have no need for mercy, elf. We have justice. To the arena with him!
No! No! Queen Faye! Save me! Save me!
Oh well, I guess that's one arena fight that won't last too long. Saves you having to kill him.
Fortunate yet unfortunate at the same time, and they set up a barrier that prevents me from going back over there. Unfortunately, there's no real way I can cheese this because I don't have any reds, so I decided, well... Oh hey, you opened up the way forward for me, and I could see minion pools on the minimap, so let us just sneak around you so I don't have to deal with you. A gargantuan is nightmare enough. 2 gargantuans is what the heck are you doing game. And I try to be cheese, but unfortunately my cheese just kind of doesn't work. 2 gargantuans. I could take them on. Just need to get proper minions forward to be able to deal with it. Now, of course, using the Apocalator, I think maybe it's a good idea to try to fight it, and then my health gets chugged to near nothing. The one brown tries to be a hero. I tell him to just run for now. Now, of course, this gargantuan is going to be a pain in my side. I'm going to instead kite it for a little while, so I can hopefully get the reds together so I can actually have proper DPS to take these fat bastards down. You want to charge, eh? You got stuck. And this is where I conceptualized that the bastard's actually stuck in his place. As such, we can just get a bunch of reds to start dealing with this problem. Now, of course, it's not 45 reds, it's 16, but it's still good enough. Or at least it's eventually good enough to give us some cooked flesh to consume afterwards. I mean, for my minions to consume, I actually don't know what they eat. Like, I know they like mead, they like turkey leg beer, but I don't think they actually care about what exactly the mystery meat is, if you catch my drift. But the gargantuan finally burns alive and is fully dead. Funny how one brown life force creates the gargantuan when so many other big creatures drop like 3 or 4, usually.
Greens.
Why did I switch to greens? I forgot why I pulled that up in the first place. Considering this bastard is actually stuck, I create a guard marker of 45 and just let them quickly burn him to death before he can actually act. And you actually killed one of my reds. Congratulations. You're a horrible, horrible gargantuan. But you'll die before you can actually take a proper action, hopefully. And my cause was just. And it's time to basically equip whatever I've got available. Now it's actually about this time that I'm really hoping that a wavegate will reveal itself, but unfortunately, none has. I start paying attention to the time because I wanted to get out of this mission, considering I wanted to try to keep it in 30 minutes. That didn't happen. Cutscenes upon cutscenes upon cutscenes. So I think, okay, well, let's try and save the elf.
Reds.
But it's the normal shield wall of doom. So while we could try to burn them alive for forever, it unfortunately does not matter.
You may hide in the earth, but we will find you.
Come on, we are currently letting you guys get a free passage forward. Look, we're giving you free passage forward through the goop. We've clearly showed that we clear it up. Come forward and charge us.
Kill them all!
Okay, let's try to kill the commander. Nope. I really want to see if anyone could actually survive the Empire ambush by killing a lot of them. Just by using prep work and shockwave, because I think, honestly, shockwave would be better in that situation. Damage-wise. But let's open up the gate and get ourselves out of this place. We've escaped the Empire troops for now, and only to find more slugs. On the bright side, these things drop blue life force, which I can't really complain about. More blues is always kind of nice when dealing with this section. And magical corruption, and technically infinite forces, yet not really. Oh hey, I didn't realize there were Empire troops right here. Now if I could not die, that would be fantastic. Now we have an absolute metric ton of blues. While I am gutting multitudes of them per hit, I really don't want to die, nor do I want my minions to die. But every swing of mine takes out yet another. So if they could just resurrect all our minions kindly, that would be great. And in fact, that's kind of what happens. We managed to take 0 casualties, I just take a lot of health damage. But lots of supplies. It's an Empire camp in the middle of blue toxic goo. It leads to a lot of questionable decisions on their part, and why they're even out here in the wasteland. And then we hear the archers. Unfortunately, my minions decide that taking a leak is a better idea than trying to survive. I mean, they can do that on the run versus flaming archers, but apparently they're not intelligent. And I'd also rather not be set on fire myself, so if these guys could break open the barrier, that'd be fantastic. Now, if they wouldn't blow up our cover that we're trying to use to avoid the archers, that would equally be great. But all I can really think about right now is how to get the absolute heck out of here. So let us kill everyone waiting for us here, try to avoid dying to the arrows, and we find the way forward. Glorious. Now, I try to go back this way, but then quickly notice that the area is blocked off. Probably the bloody Empire lads just cut the mechanism that allowed us to escape. Which means that, unfortunately, yes, I have to go to the last sanctuary. Queen Faye, you better fess up for everything that you've done. Because I really don't want to hang out around you. But the door's open for us, 2 dryads guard the way. Although if the Empire wanted to kill them, that's not a problem. But to the last sanctuary we go, hoping for a waygate. Hoping and praying for a waygate. Okay, right now there's not a lot of things to do here. Ah yes, my minions are back under their full command. And the last sanctuary, last bastion of niceness, pureness, uncorruptedness, and resistance against me. Queen Faye, aren't you a nuisance? But at least this place, I could probably loot and pillage it just fine, and probably a few life crystals would be good, which is why I'm trying to break everything here. There's also a metric ton of elves that are watching my entrance with glee. Sick and twisted as they are.
I have assembled the artifact, Dark One, but it has very little power left. The Empire seek to force their way into the last sanctuary, and from there into your realm. If you really believe this can strike a decisive blow against Solarius, then I give you permission to charge it with energy from my 4 shrines in the lower caves. Alas, this will mean the destruction of the creatures that live there.
Wow, I'm glad I don't live in her domain.
Grave decisions must be made during a time of war, but I pray they will not suffer too long. I hope that this object is worth Florian's life. I fear he is not long for this world, especially if he is put in Solarius's vile arena.
Couldn't happen to a nicer chap.
Agreed.
Go! We don't have long before they break through.
Well, you see here, I went into the arena and I lived. Admittedly, the Empire was made up of a bunch of idiots that decided to let me use my magic, but, well, yeah. But the Tower Heart for my forebearer. We definitely do need to get a work on it, and I'm hoping beyond hope that there's a waygate here. Am I not rewarded? And of course, because there's a lot of areas that I have access to, I decide, well, let's go and actually explore a little bit before realizing there's probably nothing over there. Unless there's an evil crystal, in which case now I'm very, very, very disappointed in myself for missing something like that. Bleh, but let's get down to the lower section. Also, isn't she a bloody hypocrite? She cares so much about the environment, and yet one of the first things she does is kill her environment. I mean, they could always Vietnam the Empire. Now, I will have to end the video here because of footage corruption, so hope you've all enjoyed watching. This has been BrainBoy20 with Let's Play Overlord 2, and I'm signing off. If you enjoyed the video, remember to like, comment, or subscribe, that helps out a great deal, and I hope to see you all next time. You didn't miss much, trust me.